Hello, welcome into my workshop and welcome to the show Creations of Clay. My name is Louis Palladini, and tonight I want to do another monster that everyone is familiar with. I want to do a King Ghidorah head, and I will show you how to do that from start to finish. There was actually 3 heads on this monster, but I'm just going to show you how to do one. And this is what it would look like. And then I'll show you the top view. It's a very unique looking one, but I also want to show you a couple of sculptures that I'll be doing in the upcoming weeks. I did a sculpture of Godzilla, a full size, and this is what he would look like. And it's a pretty unique looking sculpture. You know, you got the hands, you know, that's a good view of the front there. And then that's from the side. But I also want to show you, see if they get the nice spines in the back? There's actually 3 rows of those in the back, so I'll just kind of rotate it so you can see the spines. That's, it took me a while to make it, but it's a very cool piece, and I will be showing you that in a few weeks. I'll show you another one that I plan to do. It's called Rodin. Last week I did the Rodin's, a couple of weeks ago I did the Rodin's head, and this is what Rodin will look like. So I'll just rotate him. And you can see everything that will be, how he'll look. And I think that both of those will be very interesting sculptures to do, and I think people will enjoy doing them. I'm going to show you the types of clay that we can use. There's an oil-based clay, such as this, which never hards. Once you make the sculptures, you roll them up in a ball when you don't want them anymore, and it stays soft. There's also an air-hardening clay, such as this, which you can use in a couple of hours or overnight. And the good thing about this is you can paint it. But my preference for the clay is a clay called Super Sculpey, which can be baked in the oven about 275 degrees for about 15 or 20 minutes. You can do a tremendous amount of detail with it, you know, until you actually bake it, it won't harden. So I'll show you the size balls of clay we're going to be using tonight. To do the actual head, we're going to be using this size right here. And then for the horns on his head, I'm going to be using 4 balls like this. They're roughly the same size. And then I have these balls here, 6 more balls, but they're decreasing in size because the horns get smaller on the head as it goes down. The first thing that I want to show you how to make is how to do the head. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just pull this out. So we've started it. But you know, before I do any more with this, I want to show you how we're going to make the horns on the head. So I'll show you. These are the horns that we have right here. And those will probably be the pieces will be actually very easy to make. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these balls here. Let's make it simple. I'll just roll them out like this. This is going to make it much easier for us to and you know what? I'm going to try to do a couple at a time. So what I want to do is once we make these 2, I want to take, and I'll put these up here for the time being, and I'll roll these ones out. We'll do 2 at a time. Now, I'm going to put those up there. Then I'll do these here. We'll do the same thing very quickly here. Just roll this. It's about the right size. We'll put these up here. See how these look? That's what you want it to look like. So it almost looks like an elongated ice cream cone, basically. So we'll put those 2 there. We'll get these. So I'm using my fingers to make more of a point there. So when I put it back on the table, it's got that point. And then we're going to do the last 2 balls. Just like that. See how I made the point? We're just going to roll this a little bit more. And do that. Okay, so we got those done right now. Now we can come back to our head, and I'll show you what we'll do with that. So we want to, what I want to do is I have a little knife here. I'm going to take the knife and cut it in half here. And I'll go the other side, and I'll do the same thing here. What I'm going to do is actually, now that I've cut that, I'm going to take it off, cut it completely off, because that's going to be the bottom jaw right there. See how I did that? So now we can focus on doing the snout here. And then what I want to do also is I like to hollow this out a little bit now that I'm making it. We can take a little bit of the clay here. See this tool here? And we'll scoop this out. See how I'm doing this? Just like that. That way we can start to get it to and then what I want to do is work on this lower jaw here also. So what I'm doing is see how that's starting to look like a lower jaw? So this is actually going to be the lower part of the jaw, and this is that. One of the things I want to do here on the lower jaw is I want to get my sculpting tool here, and I want to hollow this out a little bit down here. See this right here? We'll hollow that out a little bit. Just like that. And that'll, I'll go back here. Yeah, that's really starting to come along nicely. See how you start to see the shape of the head and everything? Another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to bang this on the table a little bit. Because I want to flatten that out a little bit. Okay, so that's looking good. We're coming right along. So now what I want to do is I want to take some clay now, and I want to build up. I just want to check this, how much further I need to go back. See, I'm trying to, this is going to be like where the eyes and the forehead are. So I'm going to take and add a little more clay here. Roll that in my fingers. And put that there like that. See how I put that in the front like that? We're going to build that up a little bit more. So I'm going to take some of this clay. This is good because I'll roll this into a ball, all the scraps. It'll make it much easier for us to work with again. And I will take, I think we'll put a little more clay on this side now. See that? How I did that? And then what I'm going to do is on the other side, I'll do the same thing. going to take this clay here, add it right here. I'll serve from the other side there. And I want to put this in the center here. See how I did that? And then I'm just going to take and work that in like that. I'll work it in from both sides. Now I want to make sure I got that centered properly. See how that's really coming along nicely? You're starting to see that, you start to see it almost looks like the dragon head that it should be. I made up some teeth ahead of time. I'm going to pour them on the table here. I'm going to show you how to make these teeth. What I did is I baked them. But let's say you take a little clay ball like this. Think of like an ice cream cone. You roll it between your fingers like this. Now, this is a little bigger than some of the ones that I made there because it's for the purpose of the demonstration. See how I made that? It looks like an upside down ice cream cone or a curved ice cream cone. Right there. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those teeth and start to put them in the mouth here. So what I'm going to do is take this here, because they've been pre-baked, and put this right in here like this. This is going to make things so much easier. When I pre-bake them, I only bake these for about 10 minutes because if I bake them too long, they'll burn. So I just got to be careful with that. And I'm going to take and see how I'm just pushing this down into the clay. See how I'm doing that? And I'm going to take and I'm going to put that like that. Oops. They're small, so it takes a little bit to just hang on to them. And I'll show you. See how I'm just coming along nicely? By pre-baking this, it makes a huge difference because it makes it so much easier to do the sculpture right now. It saves a lot of time. See how nicely that is coming along? Now what I want to do is I want to take, I have a tool right here. It's got the little ball on it. I just want to make sure that I push the clay, make sure that the teeth are in there firmly. See how I'm going and pushing them? And then I can do it from the other side too. See what that looks like from there? See what it looks like from the bottom? And the other side? We've done that. And now what I want to do is I want to do the same thing to the bottom. And I'll quickly show you how to do that. I'll just put one more in there just to... Yeah, he doesn't want to cooperate. He fell over. Just takes patience. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little tool here and I'm just going to make sure that the teeth are in here firmly. And it looks like I need to add one more tooth on this side. See this side right here? So what we're going to do is I now want to make a tongue. So I'm going to take and grab a piece of clay off of here. Make it into a ball. And then what we're going to do is that ball, I'm flattening it out. I'm making the tongue shape. See how, think of like an upside down U. And we flatten it out a little bit. Just like that. I want to make sure it's going to fit. Yep, looks like it's going to fit pretty good. So you want to create this shape. See how this is kind of, it almost looks like a slide. So you bend it, pull it over like that, and then have this end go up a little bit. And one of the things that we want to do is we want to give this some texture. So what I want to do is take this instrument here and just kind of push, it's got a little ball at the end of it, and you just push it in like this. See how I'm pushing that into the tongue? I want to give it a little bit of texture. Just like that. Now, one of the things we want to also do is we want to make a little line in the center. So I'm going to take this tool here and take and go like this. See this? See how I did that? So now make it look looks a little more realistic now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and place the tongue in here, in the mouth, and then I might take some of this off. I don't need, looks like it's pretty big, so, and I put it in there like that. See how that looks? Now what we want to do, see that? There we go. And then we do the same thing on the other side and we work it in. See that? It's really starting to come along nicely. So now what we want to do is I want to start to think about doing the eye. So what I want to do is take and scoop out a piece right here. See how we did that? We're going to go to the other side and do the exact same thing. Try to do it in the same, so it's right. I want to make sure I got the exact same spot. So now what I want to do is I want to make some little balls of clay for the eye. So we're going to take a little piece like this, and I'll show you the size we want. I'm rolling it up as a ball. See in the palm of my hand there? You want a piece that big. And we're going to do the same for the other side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and put the eye right there. See how I put that back in? And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. See how we just did that? And then we're going to take this and make the eyeball. Pretty cool, huh? So now another thing that we want to do is we want to make the nostrils on the front here. So what I'm going to do is take this piece here, the ball, and just kind of go back and forth a little bit like that. See how I just made that? We'll do the same on the other side. See how we did that? It's really coming along nicely. The next thing that we want to do is I want to make this a little sharper. I'm going to take my tool here and I'm going to put little indentations in here like this. Right here. See how I'm doing that? I'll try to make it so you can see. That's coming out really nicely. So now, what I want to do is I want to build up the eyebrow a little bit on the eye. So I'm going to take a little piece of clay. Think of a banana. See that? And we're going to take and add a little more clay here. I want to make that so it's a little more pronounced so you can see. See, I put that on there, right there. We're going to do the same thing that I make your little banana. We're going to put it over the eye right here. See that? I think it gives a really nice effect. So now, the next thing that we want to do is, I want to give it some texture now. So what I'm going to do is take this, see that? The ball, and just kind of almost make like a half moon. Like that. Just like that. And then we're going to do the same thing up here. See that? See, I'm just kind of making some lines. Just want to kind of make some texture. We'll do the same thing on the other side. See that? Just want to kind of rough it up a little bit. And I'm using the one with the ball on the end. So just see that? Just like that. It's coming on really nice. I'll take any extra clay there and I'd like to put that back there. Now, what I'd also like to do too is do another thing. We'll make some little bananas again, but we'll do the underside of the eye. So, just to give you a perspective, the pieces of clay are about that big. And we're going to make the little banana again. Just like that. See that now when I'm doing that? And I'm going to take and put it on the underside of the eye. It's going to make it a little bit longer though. See that? Makes it a little more pronounced. So we're going to do the same thing, take that little banana and do the same thing on the other side. See that? Make that little banana. And I'm going to take and I'm going to put that right there. Just like that. Okay, so now things are coming along nicely. One of the things we want to do is, I want to make this jaw a little more pronounced, so I'm going to take a little bit of clay here. And almost like an L shape. See that? I'm going to take and I'm going to put that a little here a little bit. So just got to be careful I don't ruin the jaw. See how we put that there? So now I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. Get a little piece of clay. Make that L shape again. See that? What I'm trying to do is make it have a little more of a jawline than it had before. I'll show you how I'm putting that on. See right there? And I'm going to work that in a little bit. See that? Just like that. It's really starting to come along really, really nicely now. Now what I want to do is I want to touch up this lower jaw a little bit now. So now we're going to take and go like that. Just like that. So we'll just rough that up a little bit. Try to make it more reptilian-like. And we'll do the same on the other side. See that? See how we're... Just like that. I'm going to do the underside too. Okay, so that's coming along nicely. The next thing that we want to do is we got to start thinking about putting our horns on the head. So what I'm going to do is I cut these wires. This is armature wire right here. Where I actually got it from is you buy it in the art store. It comes in a roll like this, very flexible. And you can unroll it, and then you just take like some wire cutters and you can clip it. Another type of wire that I'm going to use too is because I didn't want to use, this is a thick one for the big ones, but I got some smaller grade wire right here, very flexible. So I cut some pieces for that too. But what I will show you is how we're going to add these to the head now. So what I'm going to do is take, but before we do that, I want to maybe square these off a little bit. These, I'll show you. So what I did is you can take these, right, and just kind of push them down a little bit like this. Tap them. Tap the opposite side. See that? And so you can make 4 sides, almost like a box. I'll do the same thing with this one. So now what we're going to do is I'll pick up the model I did previously. See the horns here? We're going to start to put those into the head. So that's why we need the wire, because otherwise it wouldn't stay there. So I'm going to take and I'm going to put this piece of wire. I'm going to take and push it up into the piece of clay like this. See that? And then we're going to take, and I'm going to do it to the other pieces too. So now what I want to do is we'll start to put this into the head. So I'll approximately start right here. See that? And do that. And then we'll proceed to do the other side the same way. So put it over here. Push that in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to proceed to do the second set. Right there. See how I did that? We'll go to the other side. We'll do the same thing on this side. And that will hold them in place. The last and final one will go right about here. See that? We'll do the same thing on this side. So now what we want to do is I'll adjust these a little bit. And then to give, we're going to add a little more clay up top too. I'll show you what we'll do there. We'll take some balls of clay here, and we're going to make like little, I'll show you on this model here. See this here? So I don't know, like the little plates, or see how we got those there? I want to add those to the top of the head also. So we're going to get I made about 5. Yeah, I'll do 5. So these are easy. Take the ball, flatten it out, then make a triangular shape like that. See that? Let me see if I can make it. So can you see that a little better? Yeah, it makes it a little better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and just place that right on top of his head. Like that. We'll make another one. I can place that right there. I'll take this. Flatten it out. Make it a triangular shape. And put it there like that. Make another one. And I'll do one more. I'll stick that right there. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is we'll rough up the skin a little bit. What I'm going to do is up top here for the eye, I want to take and do this. See this? See how I'm doing that? And I'll do the same to the other side. See how we did that? And then I'll rough up the skin a little bit like this on this side. See I'm doing this? Just like that. Just like that. I'm just going to rough up around the eyes a little bit. And you're going to do this for both sides. So what I did on this side, you will do on this side also. And then one of the things that we want to also do is give the horns some texture. So what we're going to do is just take and go like, see what I'm doing here? I'll hold it up so you can see. Go all around each horn like that. So there's 5 on each side. And then just kind of work your way around like that. Do the same thing on this side. And make the texture like that. So when you're finally done, I'll show you what it should look like. It will look like this piece here. So see how I did this? Like I have the tongue and the mouth with the teeth. See the nose, the nostrils, the eyes, the little plates in the top of the head. And then you can see the texture where I made the, for the horns, how I used the instrument. It's just really cool. So that's what it'll look like from the very top. That's what it'll look like from this side. And that's what it'll look like from that side. And that's what your Ghidorah head should look like when it's completed. There's actually 3 heads on that monster, but I just showed you how to do one. And I do want to thank you for coming to Creations in Clay tonight. And I do look forward to seeing you again next week. Goodbye for now.